Hello and welcome to the Fraternal Outdoors podcast. You've got myself, Eli, we got Sean and Adam on the line. We're gonna chit chat about, I don't know. We kind of got an agenda, but we don't really have an agenda per se. We don't have a special topic this week, but I do have a loose line of things that we haven't caught up on in some time because we haven't just gotten all three of us in the same conversation at the same time, other than our text threads. But recent news, Sean found a sweet marketplace find and got a blind for his boat, correct?
Yeah, so I'll kick off. I'll give a real short synopsis. So, good news, we added another duck boat to the collection. I picked up a flat bottom from my great aunt, and she said, "Hey, you can have at her and enjoy it." And so I started hunting around looking for a beaver tail boat blind to fit it, and quickly realized I was outclassing myself on buying a brand new one because they're like brand new, and I was like, man, I can't. So I went on Facebook Marketplace and threw up a filter on their marketplace thing. Anybody in New York State that posts anything with the phrase beaver tail in it, it pings me. And I was sitting here about 2 weeks ago, and Sunday evening, 8-9 o'clock, my phone pings, and it says Beavertail Boat Blind 1600 series, which is the exact one I wanted. And I'm messaging the guy real quick. Hey man, like, absolutely, when can I meet you? Not gonna haggle, nothing, just let's get her done. The guy had it listed for $300.
Shut up and take my money.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He had it listed for $300. They're like a grand new. So went up and met the guy, took the pup along for a ride, and it's a couple year old, but the guy's real short story for his back story. He's a pro staff hunter who has slowly been becoming a professional hunter. Think Steve Ranella on a little bit lower scale.
Okay.
So his sponsors bought him a brand new duck boat this year. However, Beavertail no longer makes a blind that fits his boat. So the boat to him was completely just gone and away, and the blind was gone and away sitting in his driveway, and he figured make some money, and he made my day. So
That's pretty sweet.
Perfect.
Didn't you say one of his sponsors was Boss Shot Shells?
I don't know if I think so. He's either sponsored by Boss or he uses exclusively Boss. Because we started talking about the 3-5 mix.
Yeah, I'm looking to switch, dude. I mean we're gonna get into that a little bit today. The last time we were all together for our, the last duck hunt we all did as a group, and that was the day I switched to Boss Shot Shells, and I think I'm gonna stick with them unless we talked about doing some testing, but unless I'm proven that something else works better, I went from no success to multiple successes. Like I with the switching of the shells.
Yeah.
Like all things equal, same shotgun, same me. Like I didn't practice or get better between those times. Like it was the shells. I'm pretty convinced it was the shells.
There's a lot of guys that some people claim it's fanboyism, but everybody that I've talked to that's used them has pretty well been like, dude, they got the magic down. They got something going for them where their Bismuth shot is competitively priced enough that us guys who don't want to spend an arm and a leg for the expensive stuff and don't have a sponsor to pay for our ammo.
Yeah. I mean, it's not cheap compared to some of the federal steel that we were shooting either. But ducks in the freezer speaks volumes. So
I was gonna say shots per duck.
Yeah.
How many times I got to huck a federal at them?
How many boxes of federal did I go through with no ducks? And then I tried Boss, 2 boxes, and several ducks in the freezer,
Mm-hmm.
Not saying
Adam had to
was
get
it 2?
there.
I might have only got 1 box.
I think you only had one box.
I think I had 1 box.
I think you had one box to try them.
Yeah.
I had 1 box to try them, and then I had a backup box of Federal 4s and a bunch of Black Cloud BD.
Yeah. All the Canon 3.5 inch that you have laying around now that we've got a pile of them and no intent to shoot them.
What's that?
I said for the 3.5s. Now that we've all got a couple of boxes. I think I've got 3 or 4 boxes of 3.5 in different stuff, and I know you've got at least one. At some point, we're just gonna have to. We're gonna have to just sacrifice the shoulders, man.
And this is why I'm glad my gun only takes 3-inch shells.
Yeah, you and TJ both.
Dude, it's nice to have them just in case, you know.
I agree with you.
You kind of always know. You kind of always know that 3.5 is still going to be on the shelf because nobody.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Less popular
because it hurts.
Yeah.
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 By the way, I just looked it up. You bought one
doesn't
box
feel
of
that bad.
You bought one box of 2 3/4 3.5 mix.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm definitely stocking up before next season, and I'm going 3-inch though. I'm pretty sure I want a 3-inch.
I'm gonna stock up on ammo for next season, but we all know I won't.
Yeah, we all know I'm gonna buy a pallet, and then you guys are all gonna realize ammo prices go up, and you're all gonna just be like, "Can I buy your boxes?"
I'll buy my own boxes. That's fine. It's just I always wait till the last minute to buy ammo. I don't know why.
Yeah.
The boss was running a pretty good sale on, like, I think it was Black Friday, and I almost bought a bunch, and I didn't. I just didn't get around to it.
Yeah.
It slipped my mind too many times, and by the time I realized their sale was gone, I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
They're moving
right?
to a different, like, I don't want to say a brand, because that's in their brand, but they're rebranding some of their line.
Yeah,
I noticed
so,
that the unmuzzled is kind of going away, and they're moving to those War Chief. It's the same stuff, they're branding it differently.
Yeah, so I believe, and I might be wrong here, but I read their like end of year, like State of the Union type letter when they sent it out, and it was something to the effect of they're dealing with a bunch of legal troubles over their name. I believe it's like Hugo Boss, like the fashion. There's like they want nobody else using the Boss name, so they've got it. They're doing some work around branding, is what I understand. I could be off on that. It's been a while since I read that letter, but I believe that's roughly what's going on. Is they've got some legal troubles with use of the Boss name, and they're just they're band-aiding while they're still fighting.
I think them and Kent are the two that I'm most interested in. I made a heck of a spreadsheet around Christmas time while I was laid up with my ear. Yeah. I went through and I listed about every make and shot size factor that like several different companies have made, with the intent that maybe someday I'll buy a box of everything of everybody's and really get fancy. But
yeah, I think I've shot some Kent. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I did.
I think one of you had a box of Kent for sure.
I think I had like a box of Kent that I blew through at some point. But I think they might have been like number 4s or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely had a box.
I know. I usually was shooting Remingtons, and then this year I started shooting Winchesters. But I'm definitely interested in the Boss now that I've whittled my stock down to where I can buy some bismuth and enjoy myself with them.
Yeah.
But we'll do a future thing on the rest of the duck boat stuff. I don't want to spoil too much of what I'm up to, but we are partnering with another one of our fraternity friends in their business, Matt Sowers out of
Marcy,
the Rome Utica. Yeah, he has a business called Marcy Metalworks, and he's doing some really cool stuff, and he's looking to expand his business and become a real deal. So I got him on the phone the other day and was like, "Hey man, I got a wild idea. What do you think?" And we're starting down the road. So
he is an excellent fabricator. I've worked with him. He taught me some basic TIG welding for a project I was doing back in college. Very good at what he does. Very excited to see him. This is his side business, and he deserves all the love he gets on that. So if anybody listening needs metal fabrication done, he's your guy, especially if you're up in the Syracuse neck of the woods, up in that Rome, Utica, anywhere in there. Yeah. Marcy Metalworks. Give him a follow, give him some likes, give him some love.
Yeah, and at some point we'll throw something together on our our pages and stuff, and we'll share a little bit of a documentation of the journey I'm taking this boat on. So
Yeah.
exciting
I'm
stuff
excited.
to come.
Nice.
I think that'd be an exciting little video project. It's gonna strain my editing skills, but
You got it.
I need the practice. It's fine.
Yeah, I've been trying to take as many photos as I buy the bits and pieces. So we'll have some compilations of stuff to throw together here.
Yeah. Did you see Danny was looking for a video intern?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, me
so-
too. I need one too, but I can't pay him anything.
Well, there are still unpaid internships.
Yeah, there's
Fair.
also still gold in the dirt, but fewer and far between than it used to be.
Is Fiverr still a thing? Can I get somebody to video edit on Fiverr?
Probably.
Well, hey, I haven't
Yeah.
told you guys this yet, and this goes to we were talking about finishing up last duck season. The wood duck is done. I picked the wood duck up on Friday when I roll through towards Buffalo to work on one of my other secret squirrel projects.
Is
Nice.
as beautiful as you hoped?
I'm excited. He did scold me a bit more. It does turn out I thought I had hit that thing with very few pellets. Turns out the right side wing, I obliterated the snot out of it. When he actually went to go skin it and pull it apart and look at the bones, I had shredded most of the bones in the right wing.
Well, to be fair, he knew
So
that.
it's-
He knew that when you dropped the duck off. You're like, I don't know if you can save it. He's like, it's not a problem.
Well, the left
Yeah.
wing was also pretty bad, and that's the one that I was more concerned about at the time.
Gotcha. Okay.
Turns out that one I more or less broke the shoulder joint in that first bone from the shoulder. Like the actual periphery bones were okay, but in the right wing, he said I smoked the living snot out of that right wing.
Nice.
So he was able to give me a decent flyer off the wall, basically as if the wings were coming right off the wall, but the right wing is a little tucked in tighter because of the way that it's all beat up. So
Gotcha.
he basically, he's like, I tried to give you the best of what I can give you without making it obvious that, you know, this thing's never gonna be in good shape.
Yeah.
So I'm
You're never
thrilled.
gonna get it fully extended out there.
Yeah, and it's not like the mallard where, you know, there's a little more bird and a little better.
Right.
To be fair, I sent 2 shells clean into that duck before it ever hit the water, so I got what I deserved out of hitting a Nerf football with a bunch of number 4s.
Yeah.
So
But-
I get to pick that up on Friday. I am super stoked about it, and can't wait to see how much more he's going to have for us here coming soon, because Adam, if memory serves me correct, you've got one in too, don't
I
you?
sure do.
Buffalo
Got
head?
a nice Drake bufflehead in there.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're hitting all the iridescent ducks of upstate New York.
That's
You,
cool.
you still have
One of these
a
days
Drake
I'll
mallard
get one.
there, don't you?
Yeah. So that's, I guess, I don't think I've talked about it too much, but maybe we did a little bit. Yeah, I shot my
don't know.
first banded duck ever, a Drake mallard, while we were down in Canisius, and I'm super stoked to have everybody be there for it. Eli was there for it. Adam was there for it. My buddy TJ, who you guys have probably all
Yeah.
seen on a
TJ
couple
and
other
I
here's and there's.
TJ and I noticed at the same time, and I started pointing as he started going, it's got a ring on it or something like that. He's like, there's a ring
It's
on
got
it.
a tag on it.
It's got a something on it. And I'm
That was-
like, it's
that
a
was probably
band. I'm like,
That was probably the
and you
best
were
part.
you weren't really listening or paying. I'm like, Sean, look at its leg. Like,
Yeah, that was the best part. Like, hey, this thing's got a tag on it, and Sean's just like, they don't tag ducks. You don't have to put a tag on it when you shoot it. We're like, no, the big silver shiny thing on its foot. Like,
Yeah.
take a look at that.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then you got real excited.
I think I about hit the stratosphere before my feet hit the ground again. That was that was awesome.
Then you
Yeah.
called the number to see where it came from, and we found out that the thing was probably still drowsy from being drugged when he shot it.
To be fair, it was August, but yeah, I literally shot it like 4 months
Yeah.
after they banded it, maybe.
Yeah.
No, what was it? 2.5 months after they banded the darn thing.
He wasn't used to his bracelet yet.
Yeah. That's why the wind was slowing them down so much, that extra weight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the way they were coming around that corner was so beautiful, man. We were out on a point for those listening, and as they would swoop from one area in, like out around the point, when they'd go back in, they would just hang up midair and almost stop.
Some of them did stop. That's how I got that bubblehead.
Awesome. Yeah.
You think
yeah, the wind would just about smack them.
You think I'd have hit that bubblehead?
Black duck I got.
Yep. No, that's a nice shot.
Yeah, Adam,
awesome.
They hook into that cold,
the
swing around that point, and the wind just stops them right there.
Yeah.
The last week of my season up north, up here, I was out with TJ, and we were trying to hunt some buffleheads up near us. I tell you, I tried to shoot one with no wind at full speed. Boy, I thought I led that thing by 4 or 5 feet out in front of it. I watched the pellets fly behind him by 3 or 4 feet. I was like, you got to lead that thing by a car length to hit them suckers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're flying at like 7. I was told, I haven't looked it up, but like 70 miles an hour.
Yeah. I think they're the fastest North American duck, if memory serves.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was a really good weekend. We all saw success. We all got some birds, multiple birds.
Yeah.
That was really quite good for us. I feel like things started to click in. You know, it was our second or third season.
Third season as a group.
Yeah.
As a group, which is our third season total for Adam and I. I don't know what TJ's back experience is on.
None. This was his first season.
That was his first season.
He won.
Awesome.
He won the shotgun that he used at your fair raffle about 3 weeks before duck season opened.
Perfect timing.
That man didn't own a 12 gauge. Yeah, he didn't own a 12 gauge until 3 weeks before season.
That is awesome.
Perfect.
So yeah, out of the four of us, he bit the hook a little harder than you guys did, but he's definitely hooked and in on it now. We're already scheming for this year on trying to find some hunters and some marshland up here to try and.
Yeah, you guys are gonna make Adam and I jealous because you're gonna get out more than us.
Well, coincidentally enough, this is a great segue. So, in case you guys haven't noticed, they changed the dates for the next 4 years, 5 years.
Nope.
I didn't notice.
They shifted all the seasons. So, let me see here. I think they opened both zones now open. The western and the northern zone open at the exact same time. They've pushed that back, so there's no longer a 2-week stagger. Everything more or less lines up on top of itself now. I was trying to pull it up so I can talk about it intelligently. I didn't think I probably should have had that a little earlier. Here we are.
Well, in the meantime, I think we touched on it. Were we on the phone or was it a podcast when we were talking about the duck blind? About our homemade one with the fiberglass poles.
I don't know.
I think we might have alluded to it a couple times. We can probably give a real short, because I think we talked about it when Steph sewed it up and when we were using it.
Yeah. So I mean I was really happy with how it turned out, and I now found a bag for it. Got a nice bag that it all fits into. Rolls up really nice. It's all it's pretty much a totally homemade blind. And then Sean and I actually decided to make little articulating elbows, so when we have it in 3 wide, we can actually hook it, and I think it's going to make a world of difference as far as it's one flat surface. So if we give it a little 3D, give it a little turn, it gives us a little bit more shape.
I have all those parts done and ready to go, sitting in a box here, all ready for you, Woodrow. So we actually did get everything printed. It's all set, ready to go. Super way heavier duty than the previous ones. Like they weigh something. They're beefy, so I'm excited about them.
Those will be subject to more moment because they're out in the middle like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got the other ones to support under it, but having those beefier is definitely to our benefit. But yeah, dude, I'm excited to try and use it some. When we go walking into marshy areas, I think it'll be really awesome to try and utilize that thing. And I think the inaugural set of where we started. I see you got a cat invading your camera space, Adam.
I apologize. I'm under attack. Continue.
But I think our inaugural time that we set it out, it came together very nicely in the dark, in the morning, setting it up. So I was really happy about that. The one thing that we didn't necessarily account for is the location we picked was not. We needed like 360 coverage.
Yeah.
Where we picked, we were out in the middle, which we discussed and had reasoning why we went out there. But I think that's why we didn't see as many ducks that Sunday morning.
Well, we saw them, but we couldn't get them to come in.
Yeah, that weather front was also just beat the snot out of us,
Yeah, they were circling way high, and they were seeing us on the backside. I'm sure of it.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
So we might have been better right back where Sean and I were the morning before when you got a hen that morning, right?
I had a Drake hooded merganser, a hen mallard.
The hen mallard was at the other blind, wasn't it?
No, that was this morning. That morning, I got a hen mallard and a Drake hooded merganser.
That's right. You got a second hen mallard in the other blind when I got the black duck
when
Drake and the mallard Drake.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we added in a nice setting there to fill out a real nice basket of ducks that day.
Yeah. I kind of want to talk about Duck Team 8.
Take it away, brother.
Well, so was that the second morning? Well, it was at least the second morning for Sean and I.
Third. That was the third day. It was the second day for everybody. It was the third day for you and I.
No, I thought we did.
That storm started to roll in.
I thought we did it the first day. It just wasn't until a little bit later in the morning. So we tried the rowboat in the beginning, and that didn't work.
Yeah, you're right. It was the first day we set the permanent blind.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was the first morning on the point. And yeah, the wind was whipping, the water was kind of gnarly. It was good movement as far as ducks and water.
Oh, yeah.
Decoys staying moving and everything, but it was atrocious for recovery. And we're on a point on a lake, and the
wind's whipping right up and down the lake.
It was the second time we had birds down, right? TJ and I each shot down a hooded merganser.
Yeah, I think so.
And I didn't have waders on, so TJ kindly went out to grab both birds, and he had to pull up and dispatch the closer one, which would have been my bird. And then in the time it took him to do that, the other one washed out into the lake, and we searched and couldn't recover it. So
Adam took the rowboat out.
Yep.
Yeah, Adam took the rowboat out, tried to look for it. It was not findable at that point, which really sucks. We all were pretty bummed that we didn't recover it.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than not recovering something.
Yeah, that's hunting, right? That's part of it. But because of that,
chapped us.
Because of that, we decided to assemble what we dubbed Duck Team 8, which started out as TJ and I. And as soon as a bird was down and we were done shooting, we didn't wait for another circle around because the birds were kind of hot. But we were really gun shy now about losing anything. So as soon as shotguns were leaned, we were running out, grabbing the tandem kayak that I had brought along with us, and deploying, and just paddling our asses off out. And front man, which was TJ, would grab the bird and dispatch if needed, and I would get us turned around. And then by then, if he was dispatched, he could help me paddle back. But it was the winds were nasty and the waves were bad. We were going 50, 60 yards out to get birds that we shot at 20.
Yeah. Birds that hit the water was 25 or 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough. It was we probably underestimated on the initial how strong the wind and the current from the waves really was.
Oh no, we for sure did. I got out there in that rowboat, there was a slight little thought that went through my mind of, I don't know that I can make it back. Trying to roll into that wind as it was pushing me north. Like, I honestly don't know that I'm making it back.
Yeah.
That was some hard work.
Try going your shotgun, and you're gonna drift hunt. We'll see you at the park on the other end of the lake.
Yep, come pick me up.
Try going damn near across the lake in the kayak.
Yeah, which that was, in hindsight, man, that was
dangerous and stupid.
We meant well.
We meant really well.
So in hindsight, that was the dumbest thing we did all day.
Yeah,
that's the dumbest thing I probably did all season. All seasons combined,
for sure.
Not just duck season, like all hunting seasons in 2023. That was my dumb moment, and we'll explain it to the listeners because they're going, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Same morning, almost the same duck teammate. TJ took a break, so another group had come through, and we had made our shots, and one we thought was hit landed way out on the water, and it was sitting there for a really long time, and we were fairly convinced that it had gotten wounded, and we felt compelled to
we thought we crippled it
to go get it. So Sean, being the shooter and me being the kayak owner, I guess, decided we would go out and do our thing, and redeployed Duck Team 8 with a new front man.
8.5. It was like 8.5, or you guys made some joke about it.
Yeah,
7.5.
Duck Team 9.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But we headed out there, and the wind was bad. The water was treacherous.
Freezing.
We did not have we did not have proper PPE on. We'll just leave it at that.
Yep.
And to top it all off, Sean
perpendicular to the waves.
Yeah, we're perpendicular to the waves, not for lack of trying to stay, but it's just twisting us constantly because that's the way the lake wants to move the water, and we're trying to go cross lake. And Sean had waders on. I did not.
Yep.
But Sean had waders on, and we were a sea hair from capsizing at any given wave, especially on the way back.
Oh yeah.
And it turns out that bird was fine. The bird that we had identified floated its way over to the opposite shore, and when we got within about 30 to 40 yards, that bird and some other ones took off just fine, no problem. Everybody else was watching with my binos from the shore going, aha! And then it was really a struggle getting back. It was kind of a fight for survival.
Yep.
It was really stupid. We both had to take a break. We were soaked with cold ass water. I mean, it's not the coldest it could be for the time of year it was, but
still,
but it was cold.
We were lucky it was a warm year, or it would have been.
Oh yeah.
But dangerous. the waves were just splashing over. We were taking on water. Mm-hmm. It was stupid as hell.
I got out. I unbungeed my shotgun from the nose of the kayak because I had it in case I needed to dispatch. Lifted it up, tilted it barrel down to walk across the beach, and out came a whole barrel's load of water. And I went, well, that shell's probably no good, and I think I need to go get the oil and clean this guy because I don't think it's gonna fire like that. I had a fish tank down the barrel.
Yeah, I can't say that I've ever seen somebody
really hurt your feelings.
I can't say I've ever seen somebody field strip and clean their shotgun in the blind while hunting.
He field stripped his and mine.
Yeah, I was gonna say I field stripped a lot of shotguns in the blind. Just only one of them was mine.
Yeah,
mine was fine this season.
Mine got filled with cattail.
Yeah, the little like fuzz.
Yep.
Yeah, cattail fuzz and like the little seeds from some of the goldenrod and crap that was out there from the first morning because we were trucking through some thick stuff. So
yeah, we stalked. Don't anybody ever tell you can't stalk ducks. You can sure stalk them. Whether you get a duck out of it or not that's up to you.
We absolutely
you
stalked
certainly
ducks.
do them.
And they flushed, and I shot a pile of cattails.
It's amazing what 7-foot cattails will do to a 6-foot tall man.
You're giving me a couple inches I don't have.
I'll give you the boots and whatever your stump you were standing on for stable footing.
I think I was more sunk in the mud than anything, but okay. But yeah, so we probably should have, if we were thinking at the time, we probably should have just left.
We should have made the decision
for our own safety. But
after the initial loss, that we probably should have considered the wind as almost a no start day.
Yeah.
But in our stubbornness to hunt, we trucked and we braved it, and I mean,
we assembled Duck Team 8. We thought we were
fine. And I wouldn't have shot a banded duck if it hadn't have been for being out there in the most miserable weather conditions.
No, the most miserable weather conditions were that Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By then.
That plus cold, plus we were at the end of the lake.
Yeah.
And we were at the end of hunting.
Yep.
3-4 days in a row of freezing cold, windy, nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were hitting it pretty hard, too.
We were. Oh, for sure.
But
no,
how was everybody else's whitetail season?
Boy, I'd love to do it again.
What?
I'd love another crack at it.
As in you want to redo?
I want to redo. I want to mulligan that one.
No, I'll wait till next year. I don't want to redo any of it.
Why, because you want to hunt it?
Yeah, I would like to. For those of you that don't know, I spent pretty much all of whitetail season, or all of the days I took off of work and set aside to specifically hunt whitetail, I spent them all in the hospital with pneumonia. So I didn't even get out. I only got out twice. I think I said one full day and then a morning.
That blows.
Yeah. The only thing I saw was a yearling. I couldn't bring myself to shoot it.
Yeah, I
don't have that problem.
Yeah.
I hunted 7 straight days. I saw 30 deer on the very first day, and I thought, man, I'm going to have a great season. Everything's going well. Passed up a couple of small 4s and 6s and one half rack 5. I was like, man, this is going to be a great season. I'm going to have a good time. The next 4 days straight, I didn't see a single deer. I sat in the woods for 4 straight days and saw nothing but squirrels. And that was, frankly, for where we were hunting, that was the tone of the season up and until the very last 3 days of season, in which I finally settled on harvesting a doe to fill the freezer, and my wife, she took her first 2 sittings at the end of a season of, frankly, pretty sad population numbers, and she passed up on a chance on a couple of nice little probably year and a half year old bucks, and you know, she's still feeling pretty bad about passing them, but I'm still very proud that she didn't rush a shot that was poor, and she put in the work, and she sat in the cold, and I look forward to either what's coming in next season or even the season after that, when she finds her footing, and just like we did on our duck hunt, once she finds her stride,
right,
I think I'm going to have at least a deer hunting family similar to you, Eli.
Nice.
Oh, just me.
My season went
hunting solo over here.
My season went considerably better than you guys, by the sounds of it.
So
deer in the freezer.
I know whose freezer I'm raiding.
Yeah. So I got a buck and a button buck, and Steph got a buck and a button buck, and we took Trevor out for the first time this year, and I got him a slob of a doe.
Nice.
Well, he got a slob of a doe. I just put him in the right spot.
Location.
Yeah. It was fun. That was my first time really mentoring, if you will, somebody, and he was an awesome pupil, awesome person to take. He he kind of did his own homework. He asked great questions. He made sure he came out and shot. You guys were part of the conversation for some of the gun selection, and he came to the farm and sighted the rifle and checked the rifle and checked the rifle. Anytime anybody else was checking zeros and he was in town, he was checking his gun too and getting some trigger time. He did really good to do that, and I was really happy with his patience in the woods and everything. It was kind of nice having a hunting buddy. Put him in a few spots. Unfortunately, I couldn't get him in front of antlers in a meaningful way. We did have one instance where I was sitting in a spot where I thought we had a pretty good opportunity, and someone shot further up valley and wounded one non-fatally in the neck. And both that deer and another one, I believe it was a 6 and an 8. I don't know if I had good count on tines because they moved through fairly quickly. Mass, a lot of mass on their horns. They were big deer, and because I was helping him hunt, like my gun was just on the ground, like it was on a stump on the bipods.
Yep.
Like not even anywhere close to me. I just had my binoculars, and they stopped in the right spot that I could have just blistered that wounded one, which I would have, but in the amount of time it took me to, the only way I could get him on it, because we were side by side, like here, and the deer was here, so I had to like switch spots with him, and
shoulder to shoulder, and you needed to switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was switch or like duck and have him aim up from my back, like, and I didn't really want to do that. not that I couldn't in the right situation, but it wasn't really the right situation for that either, because I wouldn't have even provided enough height. He needed to be close enough to that part of the blind to aim over it. So by the time we got shifted around, they were already nervous. The other shooter had already started working towards us. They were getting nervous about him and nervous about us because they heard something. I'm sure the wind probably wasn't great in that spot, but unfortunate that we couldn't get him on it. But he continued to hunt through the whole season with us, with quite a bit less mentorship after he got that big doe.
Nice.
But yeah, and then I got what? Steph got hers, I think, opening day or the next day.
I think it was opening.
Not a bad little 8-point, and then I got a no brow 6-point. I think the first Friday, which worked out really awesome because I worked from home from Mom's house, and I literally I decided I was going to walk up where we parked it was the same trailer that we used for the chicken barbecue to hide out.
Yep.
As a windbreak.
Might have lost him.
I had that
Somebody
parked
went
down
somewhere.
in the...
There he is.
Am I back?
Yep.
Yep, you're back.
Okay. My internet connection's being what it is being.
Flighty.
Yeah, you know how it is. Rural America.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so I grabbed the 6.5 because I was walking to a blind. Normally, if I'm going for a walk, I don't normally take the 6.5 because it's heavier than hell. It's a BA-10 stealth, and it's 11 pounds undressed, not counting scope and bipods. So
Or bullets.
and ammo, or bullets.
Those add up.
Yeah, it adds up. But I didn't have to walk very far to find a deer because I was just into the woods. Like, well, you guys know where we have that large fire pit that we use for alumni weekend.
Yeah.
So I just walked through there, through that other tented area that we put back there.
Yep.
I just walked through there and kept walking towards the fence where I'd cleared that area a little bit with the skid steer because Ben thought he might park back there to camp. He didn't end up doing it, but I was walking down that same skid steer path, and just down there in the bottom near the creek, man, there was a no brow 6-point, big heavy body on him. 2, maybe 3, but heavy deer. As far weight wise, his mass was nothing to write home about, but he's big heavy deer, and I don't pass on deer that I would like today, or I'd like it on the last day, on the day I see them, you know. So
don't pass on a deer. Don't pass on the first day what you'd be happy to shoot on the last day.
Right. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm just gonna sneak over here to this little tree so I've got a rest. And I got over to the little tree, and he's just munching on ferns, dude. He's just milling around. So I went over this little tree, and I got set up against it, and it's just too much brush in the way from there. So I ended up sneaking right back to where I had first seen him, basically. Just shuffle back over, and I take a knee. I just took a knee and took my time. It was a frontal shot. I wasn't waiting for him to turn. It was pretty close range. I'm like, yeah. So I took my shot. He scrunched up, and then he turned and went up a 14-foot bank, and I gave it a minute. Not really very long, because he trotted up that 14-foot bank and was out of sight enough that I knew I could go check for, like, impact, like first blood.
Yep.
No blood. Not a drop. Not a single drop. One little tuft of white hair. Teeny tiny tuft of white hair. It's like a super highway down there of deer tracks. I can't tell which ones are his. They're all fairly fresh.
Yep.
And I was just like, shit. So I start like picking apart the bank, trying to figure out which track is freshest, which one's him, trying not to traipse on anything. I spent a considerable amount of time looking, just trying to find where he went up the bank. And then I'm like, well, I see nothing. No, I couldn't find blood anywhere.
Yeah.
So I went up the bank and I cut across the edge of the bank, and then I went up a little higher and cut across, and then circled, started doing little circles. I just could not pick up anything, any sign of where this guy went. So I was getting pretty discouraged and starting to, you know how it is, right? You guys have probably been there. You made the shot. You had no issues at the time, but the longer you sit and with your thoughts, you're like, did I fuck it up? Is my mind playing tricks on me? I just started like dogging on myself. I'm like, this is crap. How did I miss such a chip shot? Like, this can't be. I'm like, well, there's nothing really left to do but just like weave my way up. And I thought my buddy Nick was going to be at that blind, so he didn't end up going out that day, but I thought he may very well be in that blind, so I had intended I'd push something to him. And I was pretty certain Steph was in the blind up above that one, so I'm like, there's no harm in me like pushing this because it'll drive deer to them. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to start weaving, and I'm going to keep a really close eye and see what I can see. But I was kind of almost consigned to, this no-go. Like I somehow made a terrible shot. And I say terrible because to miss that badly was, like I said, it was not that far of a shot. I had my 6.5 Creedmoor, which is over-scoped. I'm like...
Yeah.
More rifle than you need for 100 yards.
Yeah, I was just beating myself up, and this is right on the property line with my neighbor, which I have permission, so it wasn't an issue. But I'm coming over onto his, and I'm just weaving on my way up the hill. I didn't get very far. There's a clearing on his side, and I saw kind of across the clearing, there's like a white patch in the edge of some briars. It wasn't briars, it was honeysuckle, but either way. I saw like a white patch, and I'm already down on myself, so I'm like, yeah, it's just garbage. I'm garbage. This is
garbage.
Garbage. This whole thing is garbage. But I'm like, you know what? I'll question myself if I don't look at that. I have to at least do my due diligence, and I'll go pick up the garbage. We'll go better together. We're all garbage. So I take a few steps over there. I'm like, maybe that's not garbage. It's possible that. And I pulled up my binoculars. I went, holy shit! It's not garbage. And I got really excited, and I ran over there, and sure enough, it was the buck. And let me tell you, there was not a drop of blood, even where he laid.
Wow. All internal, huh?
All internal. He dumped it all into his body cavity. It was wild.
Those are rough.
So I spent about 15 minutes hunting, about 40 tracking, and about another 40 getting things stuck and unstuck, trying to get him out of there because
he never dies in an opportune location.
They never do.
Yeah, well, it was an opportune location. It was just an inopportune thought process on my part, unfortunately. So just down the road from Mom's, you could peel off to the right into the neighbor's farm field there.
Yep.
And then you can cut across the creek, and then all of his clearings are connected with, mowed or semi-mowed, just kind of prairie grass land area.
Yeah.
But it's kind of marshy in some spots. And one spot I saw was clearly muddy, but I didn't think the side-by-side would sink in it.
Yep.
Immediately sunk in it, right to the frame. Not close enough for the winch to reach any tree. So then I had to go get the tractor. And then the tractor almost got stuck. So I popped that out, drove the tractor back. I think I had Trevor take me down on the four-wheeler or something, and then I went and got the side-by-side. It was a whole time.
Yep.
And then I gutted my deer by the moonlight. Actually, I used that Devos light stand that I used when we were plucking ducks in your backyard.
Yep.
That thing is awesome. I put that
Nice.
I put that thing up and hung him off the side by side. It was awesome.
Nice.
But yeah,
I
so
know
that
I
was
covered it on the last episode. I'm gonna for you, Adam, as I don't think you've probably heard the whole thing yet. I've come up with an idea of putting a light pod on top of a extendable painter's pole and 3D printing a adapter so that I can screw a 4-inch light pod on the top of an extendable painter's pole, and then have like a bungee cord, for lack of a better term, like the ones you see like on the actual scene lights on fire trucks.
Yeah.
So that I can extend that light up and then have it plug in like a 12-volt cigarette lighter with a switch on it.
There you go.
And I've squirreled this idea, and I found a company that makes red colored pod lights, like predator hunting red.
Nice.
So instead of it being white light, it's red light. And so I've now convinced myself I'm going to build one of these so that it can go into my truck, into my trailer, or on the duck boat for setup, takedown, basically scene lighting.
Yeah.
To do big boy lighting. I've talked myself into doing it, and I'm super excited that after seeing Eli's Devos stand, that is what drew me to decide, like, I want a scene light pole to light up a whole area. I think that'd be really cool.
Nah, I'll stick with my headlamp. As if I use it at all.
just need to light your truck up like a Christmas tree.
Hey man, I have yet to find a reason why that is not a good idea.
The only one stopping you is you.
Happy?
It's a great birthday surprise when your car can sparkle.
Throw a topper on it and just surround it with lights.
There you go.
Yeah, there's a thought.
Don't worry, I promise not
I'm
to say
thinking
every time
more-
you copy Eli.
Oh, don't worry,
Dude,
I will.
it'll change because I'm thinking more and more and more every time. Like, we've talked before, even on the podcast, about my ultimate
Yep.
want to get into a trailer and then make my vehicle a little more commuter friendly. It's still going to have most of the, like, I'm still going to have spare fuel and my farm jack and traction boards and stuff, but not necessarily have that heavy rack carrying things around anymore. And what I really, if I go that direction, I'd probably do a decked system or something similar for my storage.
Yep.
And then I think I'm really kind of into the idea of those flated truck toppers, just because they're so easy to. It's like 4 straps and you can chuck it back off. And all my gear will be secured in that, or all my main gear will be secured in the deck system.
Yeah.
And then the flated will cover anything else. That or a smart cap, but that's the one caveat with the flated thing is like, man, I really do love having those lights on the rack, and I would have to part ways with those if I did that. I'd have to get a hard top with a basket rack and then mount my lights on that, and that's the whole thing. So, you know, I just got to figure out where it fits.
I would actually. Yeah, yeah, and where you're gonna store it when you take it off.
Mm-hmm.
I have half of mine that if I'm getting pretty close to where my tonneau cover is gonna need to be replaced, and I keep thinking about doing exactly like yours, doing a bed rack over it, and then getting a couple companies make them like roll back tonneau covers that fit inside those rack rails. And I'm like, yeah, that'd be slick to be able to have the rack on top, have like a
it looks like an exoskeleton. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of those.
But
there's a lot of threads on like the Facebook forums for Jeep Gladiators on what combos fit. There's like this topper, this like fold down topper, and this rack fit together. Like there's a lot of conversation about which ones you can mix and match to get the best of both worlds. But I thought for a long time, I just never ended up doing it, about taking that heavy canvas tarp and just mounting button clasps in the right locations so that I could literally just fit a tarp on it.
There's an idea.
I just never got it. I never became a big enough need to do so.
Yeah.
But in retrospect, like all things being equal, if I had known what I know now, I probably would have gotten a smart cap. But I'm not sure if when I got my Gladiator, if they had them out yet. It was still somewhat limited on accessories when I first got my Gladiator.
Yeah, you got it fairly. I mean, it wasn't right at release, but you got yours fairly close to the release of the Gladiator.
Yeah, so it was a 2020, and I got it in 21. So they had 2019 and 2020 models, and 21 had just released, and somebody had racked 30,000 miles on their 2020 model and then traded it in. And it was orange with a tonneau, orange with a tonneau and a soft top, and nobody wanted it in Ohio apparently. But I did, so I drove from Pennsylvania to Ohio and got it.
Perfect.
Yeah, you went ooh piece of candy and went and got it.
I told Steph that I was looking for a vehicle, but I had a wish list that I wanted to check as many boxes as possible, and she is a super shopper, and she said, alright, give me the checklist. I'm like, well, I want the cold weather package, I want LED lights, I want the auxiliary switches, it's got to have the auto start, I want it to be a Rubicon, and I don't want red or white. Like blue, orange, green, and black are okay.
Green and tan, isn't it?
I don't know if they had a tan in 20. They might have. They probably did.
Yet?
I think they offered.
They might have. I don't remember. But basically, I mostly just didn't want white or red. The other ones were probably acceptable if my other wants were met.
Yeah.
And I didn't want a soft top. So she came back like within a week of searching. She's like, I found it. I'm like, what do you mean you found it? She's like, I found it. It's got all but 2 things on your wish list. I'm like, seriously? And it's in the price range. I'm like, well, what are the 2? I'm like, what are the 2 things? Like, because some of those are non-negotiables. And she's like, it has a soft top, which is easily fixable, right?
Yep.
You buy a hard top for it. And it didn't have the auxiliary switch panel, which is fine because I went and got the VoSwitch one on the handle, on the grab handle, that has way more switches because the Mopar aftermarket option is 4 switches.
It's like 3 or 4.
I've got 7 or 8 or something. And I like it on my handle like that. It's pretty cool.
Perfect.
off we went to go get it in Steph's vehicle, and then we had to drive both vehicles back because I private sold the 2500 because it was leaking gas, and I didn't figure I could drive it all the way to Ohio and trade it in. It all worked out. I'm very happy.
Perfect.
Yeah, everything worked into the world of it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to what's coming though. I think that, there's some cool stuff that I think we're gonna have coming into this next season, and I think that we're probably wrapping into. I alluded to Callie doing deer hunting. I know she's planning to duck hunt with us this year. I bought her a shotgun for her birthday in October, and we're full well planning to bring her along at some point or at some level, and wrap that all in with the fact that I in my better judgment decided, you know what, instead of having me paddle across the lake to go find a duck, I'll get a dog to do it. Then I got a dog that I'm not so certain she loves the cold, so we're gonna have to bribe her.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
They can be bribed.
Sure can.
They can be bribed. Winters have been milder and milder.
Already.
We'll start going on a southern trip every year.
That's what a lot of these guys do, man. I'm thinking we got to go to Arkansas. We got to go down there and try that out.
That is kind of a bucket list hunt.
That would
now that I duck hunt, I would really like to. I'd like to check out down there, but more than anything, I'd like to check out other flyways.
Yes.
Just to see it.
Yeah.
Just to check it out.
I'd love to know what it looks like to see thousands of ducks at your spread. I'd love to know what that's like.
Yeah. That would be pretty amazing. We'd probably get like stimulation overload.
Probably. Just all freeze.
Yeah. You're like, oh. Actually, I heard a guy on a podcast. So Bear Grease is Clay Newcomb's podcast, but he has like a spin-off podcast that's on the same thread, and he has his buddy. His name is escaping me now.
I've watched or listened to the same one.
His name is escaping me now. It's Reeves, I think, is the last name. Either way, he does the Country Life podcast, which it's on the same same thread, still associated with Meat Eater, all that. But he used to be a duck guide with his brother down there, and he tells some stories, and at least one of them, if not more than one of them, just like guys like us from like New York and like from the north come down to check it out, and then they don't even shoot the first time. Like they're like, wow. And
Brent Reeves.
And yes, Brent Reeves. I wanted to say Josh, and I knew it was wrong. Thank you. Yeah, Brent Reeves. He actually, it's kind of funny. He talks about case knives, and I thought that was super cool. I told my one friend that's in the marketing department that I'm like, hey, I heard a guy talking about case knives. If we reached out to him, he's like, was it Brent Reeves? I'm like, yeah. He's like, we did. I'm like, sweet. I love it. I really like it when the company talks to people from industries that I follow.
Yeah.
It's like really cool when I was able to introduce Bo Martonic to him. And like they started talking. I don't know where it all went. I know they're still talking, but he sent him a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, that's awesome. Like, I love, rising tide will lift all boats, right? So
yeah,
I love seeing people that I like in the industry doing well. So that was really cool.
If you can share something cool for them, and they can see something cool that you know about, I mean, everybody wins. It's everybody's getting to see something cool and learn something new.
Yeah. Well, that's an exciting,
that's a cool thing.
That's an exciting teaser, I guess I can drop. Is Garrett Babcock from Find a Way Outdoors is on the schedule to come on our podcast, and I think that's going to be a fun conversation. Talk turkey hunting with him. So I'm excited about that one too.
I don't got much of a turkey hunting experience, but I've got a few real good stories of me doing dumb stuff with turkeys.
My my story with turkey hunting is usually I go, I blow it, and then I go dig leaks. And I only get out a couple times a year.
Nice.
So,
Hey man, the turkeys love to call to you though. As soon as you have something else to do, man.
oh, I know it. My valley's filled with turkeys. I'm almost ashamed of what a bad turkey hunter I am because at any given time there's like 30 turkeys somewhere in one of the fields. It's like there's not a lot of pressure in there. It's I know the group that is in my valley hunting turkeys, and it's not a huge group of guys.
That's it. I'm getting my PA license. I'm coming down.
I keep telling you to.
I'll come smoke some turkey.
Hell yeah.
That might not be a bad way to do it. Shoot a turkey and throw it right out, the whole thing on the smoker.
Smoked turkey is delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. But what else we got on the calendar coming up that you guys are excited for? Anything fun?
I've got a real fun one coming up at the end of March here. Callie and I are gonna drive down to Miami and catch one of them big old boats down to Mexico for a hot little cruise around the lower Caribbean and Mexico, and we'll be gone for 14 days and doing that. And
nice.
we can't do any scuba diving or any big diving, but I think if I remember correctly, Callie did book us a snorkeling thing, so we can get to enjoy some really nice tropical swimming and see some real cool stuff.
You boys like Mexico?
I'm gonna find out. I'll let you know.
Yeah. See, I'm no good at the shallow breathing for snorkeling. It fucks me up.
Yeah.
It's similar concept to breathing with a scuba rig on. It's just I'm learning, but I've still got a baby this year, man. Fixing a lot of parts on my body, and it's one of those things where if you rush into it, you just make everything worse.
Yep.
Yeah. No sense in fucking yourself over when you went to all the trouble to get it fixed.
Nah, but man, I'm so excited to get to see it. I think the last time was 2018. We did a trip through some of the northernmost Bahamas islands, and it's so nice. It's so nice to be able to jump in the ocean, and the ocean feels like bathwater. Yeah. It's so buoyant, and
that's how Jamaica was.
Super excited.
Jamaica, the water was like bathwater, warm every time.
Yep.
That's pretty awesome.
The week that I get back from that is the following weekend, is the 6th of April already, and that is leading into our favorite annual tradition. We're going down to
gotta love that chicken barbecue.
So there might be I was going to talk to you guys about that. There might be a potential date change. We can talk more offline on how that goes down. One? I'm not so sure.
Okay.
It's either going to be warmer or colder. Let's find out.
This will be fun.
Warmer, but they kind of want to do it on a Sunday when the barrel racers are doing their thing. I'm like, that may very harshly affect my ability to get help here, but I'll talk to them.
It means they gotta take
I think they're kind of leaving. There's a whole handful of dates available to us that the barrel racers will be there.
Yeah, we'll talk
we'll talk offline and figure out, and we'll push that date out at some point as well for anybody that's in the area.
But that's coming up, and I mean, man, we already, if nothing else, that's April. Here we are. We're lined up into spring already, and we're recording this. It's still February. I mean,
yeah. One nice thing, if the date does change, one nice thing is that I might actually be able to go fishing on the opening day of trout in Pennsylvania for once.
You're not allowed to do that.
Which I'd be pretty stoked about. I do too want to do that.
I didn't say well you wanted to. Have you not allowed to?
I'll eat stalkers. Doesn't hurt my feelings.
Taste about the same, if not better, because they've had nice, good feed all their lives.
I know one of the guys feeding them.
Just tell him to grab you a couple.
Who also is our guy who has leads on duck hunting down this way.
Yeah, see, cheating.
Yeah, it's not cheating.
It's cheating
There's
if you
nothing-
can just sing and the fish show up.
There's nothing wrong with good intel.
Yep.
But yeah, there's that, and then we have our prep weekend for our alumni weekend shortly thereafter,
Yep.
which is overlapping with the outdoor show, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, it'll be a good
Oh,
time.
I'm stoked.
I'm probably ordering
any
seeds this year if oh crap, I can't think of their name. Back 40 Seed Co. was there last year, and if they're there again this year, I'll be buying some seed from them. Then otherwise,
anything
it's
to get
just
into
our
an outdoor
usual.
show.
Yeah. It'll be fun to go hang out and see the sights and things. And
My father went to the one in, it's not Scranton there, Harrisburg?
oh, the big
Great
outdoor
American-
show. Yeah,
the Great American
Yeah, it's
Outdoor
at the-
Show.
yeah, it's the farm show center.
Yeah, that was he can usually handle it. He actually called me in the middle of the day. He's like, I had to sit down and I just had to take a minute. He goes like, I don't think I can see it all in one day. And I said, Dad, how many buildings have you been to? He goes, I've been to 4. And I go, Dad, there's 9 buildings. You ain't getting to them all today.
I perused their list of booths and got overwhelmed just looking at the listings. I'm like,
Yeah.
holy crap! I drove by it last year during it. Like, I went by the farm show complex because it was right when Carl was shipping out, and Haley did his going away party down there. I was coming back through, and I'm like, what is with all this stupid traffic? And the more I got into like the group of traffic, the more I realized everything around me was badged with like Whitetail Properties and Whitetails Unlimited and stuff like that. I'm like, how close are we to the farm show complex? I'm like, oh, it's right up here. Yeah, that's yeah. I'm like, outdoor show's going on right now, isn't it? Steph looked down her phone. She's like, hey, this one? I'm like, yeah, that one. Yeah. Like, too bad we got to get home and pick up the kids, because if we didn't, I'd be stopping right now.
Right.
I know it's planning out a year in advance. I would really like to go next year.
Yeah, I would like to go to that, and I'd like to go to another older. Tongue-tied here. I would like to go to another Overland Expo, whether it's the East again or like go to the one in Colorado. I don't know. I definitely want to go to one again. Where I don't know, but if any of you guys are even remotely interested, let me know, because we can plan as a group.
I think it'd be fun to do as like a group. Yeah, do it as a big trip of maybe not so much really the overlanding part as much as convoying down the road together to go to overland, and then I think that'd be
dude, it's such a cool time down there, man. Even like Steph and I just going ourselves, it was just us and Hunter, our younger of our 2 dogs, and we had a blast. We met a bunch of people, like both in the campsite and like going to the classes and stuff, and just running into people. And it's a small world, man. It's just like running into cool people and having a good time. It was really quite a good time. I'd definitely go again.
Yes.
And hopefully I come home with a trailer this time. That'd be pretty nice.
They had one for sale near me, Woody, and I actually did somewhat seriously look at it, and they just...
Dude, those guys at Core RV almost had me.
Yeah.
If I had a little bit... If we hadn't had to pay for Steph's RAV4, like if I didn't need that down payment money in my account,
Yeah.
I would have spent that money on one of those trailers. It was...
Yeah, we're
I
gonna
was
sell our
sold.
big boat. We're gonna sell our big pleasure craft boat, and I keep getting wild hairs between whether or not I'm buying a decent camper, or am I buying a side by side, or am I gonna use some of that money to build a really crazy duck boat. They keep juggling these all up, and Callie's probably gonna get mad if I don't set some of it aside. But there's a real chance that I'm gonna end up. Thank God I found this camper right now while I don't have any stupid money to waste on stupid stuff, because otherwise there's a good chance I'd have come home with a little.
Your willpower
Micro.
would have evaporated.
Oh man, my impulse control when it comes to shiny stuff, when it's outdoor stuff and even remotely recreational equipment.
We know.
The only person I know worse is TJ.
Yeah.
TJ's the only man I know worse when it comes to vehicles and toys.
How many motorcycles is he on now, including boxes of parts that he started with?
So this is either number 4 or number 5 since November.
Didn't he
This
start
man
with it in Hawaii, right? Or was it when he got home?
No. This isn't even his street bikes. This is dirt bikes. So he convinced a kid online to sell him a box of parts for a reassembly for a 250 two-stroke dirt bike. He then traded the box of parts, partially reassembled, to another guy for a working bike, traded that working bike for a bigger working 4-stroke bike, then traded that for a racing 250, then traded that on my birthday for another racing 250 that was newer.
That was 4-stroke,
in the
right?
mix, yeah. And in the mix, he bought a truck from you, Eli, had it for
from
the same
Mom,
length of time in
technically, but
November. And then he literally turned that around and sold that truck, got another truck, did some stuff on that truck, and boy, now he is just... Callie has said, thank God that Cindy's a saint, or else if I pulled that stuff, I'd be on the side of the road.
Right.
She wouldn't let me come home.
I don't think Steph would care if it was like say my boat. Like if I just start flipping that boat and I didn't put extra money into it, like what he's doing with the dirt bikes, she wouldn't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, what he's doing is like wild, dude.
Yeah.
Like if I just started flipping trucks, she'd probably be irritated.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how much he's got a knack for doing it when he's finding these neat deals. It's just,
All my cousins are that way, man. The Colby cousins, like Chase and Travis, they got horseshoes up their ass for deals, man. Yeah. They luck into the best deals. I don't know where I think gotta just spend their lives on Facebook Marketplace.
That's how I mean, to be fair, that's how I found that blind, man. Is if you troll the internet long enough on all the different sale forums, eventually you find some really nice diamonds in the rough.
That is true.
You got to seed through a lot of scams and a lot of stuff before that happens. But when it does, Cloud9 hits real quick too when you're saving a lot of money buying something you already wanted because some dude's just like, don't need it, don't want it,
yep.
Take it.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Well, I got
any other fun trips you got to run?
Yeah.
All right, we'll wrap it up.
Probably rolling up against.
Yeah, the only other thing I had was at some point this summer I have to take the girls on a beach trip because Mom went to Ocean City last year and brought home seashells and showed Harper pictures of the horses, like the wild horses. So I absolutely have to get down there at some point this year because I promised that I would that she could go see the beach and go look for seashells and see the wild horses.
Yeah, so what you've really done is you've told her she wants to see a live action spirit. Good luck.
Yeah. Well, I told her she's got to, like, I'm trying to get her to eat her dinner and stuff at times. I'm like, you got to grow up big and strong so you can ride horses and stuff when you're older. And she's like, I'll grow up big and strong and ride the horses. So she finishes dinner, and then she goes, okay, I'm bigger and stronger now. Can I go ride horses? Like, no, it's not how. You got to build it up for a couple of years. She's like, when you're older. Like, I'm older now. I'm older now than I was a second ago, right?
You poor sap, you're going to raise horse girls.
I don't want to, but
that's too late.
I have a sneaking suspicion that my wife is going to foil me on that.
Yeah, she's going to enjoy that because she was pretty much a horse girl. by extension.
She took some lessons. She wasn't really a horse girl. She always loved horses, and now once she married me, she had the property to house a horse, so she got one. And the rest is history, I guess, and history in the making of probably fucking horse people in my house. Oh well, I'll live.
Oh well, gotta have a hobby somewhere, right?
Yeah. But Adam had to hop off. Just you and me. We can close it out. For everybody that tuned in and listened this far in, thank you so much for listening. Means a lot. You can support the channel by liking and subscribing, and you know, life is better when you do more shit outside, so get out there.
Get out there and enjoy it.
Thanks for joining us. If you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe. You can also keep up to date by following us on our social media at Fraternal Outdoors on all platforms. And we love to see what you're doing in the outdoors as well, so please use the hashtag Fraternal Outdoors on your content so we can follow along. All the best in your outdoor pursuits, and catch you next time.